So my name's Nicole. I'm the Alumni Coordinator at St Albans. I'm here to speak all things wellbeing with this lovely group of ladies. So I will throw to them to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Anna Bawater and I graduated St Albans Secondary College in 2009. Currently, I support program delivery for an Australian literary organisation called Stella.
Brilliant. And Cassie, welcome. Tell us a bit.
Yeah, hello. My name is Cassie, obviously. I graduated in 2013, so 7 years ago now. So I educate individuals and members of the community and workplaces on how to foster good mental health discussions and break down the barrier that is often accompanied with mental health discussion. So that's what I'm doing now.
Oh, and Maddie.
Hi, so my name's Maddie or Madeleine, and I am a friend of St Albans Secondary College. I graduated in 2003, so that was quite some time ago now. I'm a somatic teacher, so I teach bodily practices through the use of yoga, mindfulness, meditation.
Beautiful. Can you identify a time during your senior years that really tested you, and how did you overcome this? So Anna, can we start with you on that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I didn't have a pandemic to contend with, but I certainly struggled with anxiety in my senior years at school. Mostly high expectations that I placed on myself as a response to some of the low expectations that people in my life had for me in my career path. But I recall being distraught when I sat my year 12 literature exam. But I remember speaking with a teacher of mine, and we were sitting in the library, and what she had to say really just changed my world, in that she told me that I could get to university, which was something that I really personally wanted to achieve. But I could get there by starting in TAFE. You know, that career pathways are winding and you don't have to go the same way that everyone else does to end up where you want to be. That was an important lesson for me that day, that working hard does pay off, because then you can just trust that you put your best efforts in, and it's just a bit easier to accept what will come next once you know that you've applied yourself to the best of your capacity.
Yeah, cool. Cassie, how about you?
Yeah. I really put so much pressure on myself that I experienced this massive amount of burnout. I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating, I was quite literally having emotional breakdowns in the middle of classes, to the point where I just really needed to take a step back and effectively look at what was going on from an outside perspective and start to think, you know, where are these pressures coming from? Why am I putting them on myself? What can I do if this doesn't work out? What are my options to still get into the degree that I want if this doesn't work? And if option A never works, there's always B, C, D, E, F. There's A to Z options to get into a degree if A doesn't work.
Yeah, great. Maddie?
Yeah, most definitely. I resonate with both the answers of Anna and Cass, and I remember just being completely overwhelmed by the workload, the expectations that I put upon myself, and I asked for help when I needed it, and I was able to consolidate that information. And it's always just that reminder that there is always help out there, and you need to pull on those resources when you need them.
Yeah, absolutely. So Anna, can you tell us, how important is it to be aware of gender bias and how it affects study?
Fully. I think, you know, people grow in their politics over their lifetime, but just because you're not well versed in a particular topic, it doesn't mean that these same issues aren't actually affecting you. If we hone in on the question and think about how gender bias impacts study, well, I have it on good information that more often than not, girls, or rather young women, are responsible for helping their siblings to get homework done or to help out more at home, often starting their work much later than the average student might without these responsibilities. And I think this can impact on young women's concentration, on the quality of their work, and perhaps even their self-esteem. Young men or boys are more likely to cover up that these are responsibilities that they do take on at home, because it's not usual for men to take on caregiving roles, even though it may be well suited to them. In the same way, that some women are well suited for intellectual pursuits, are great at solving problems, even though there is a long history of undervaluing their contributions to the workforce. And I think it's only recently that soft skills like being a good listener and being able to get on well with others have been categorically recognized as marketable skills in the workforce. So I do think that gender bias links directly to the workings of the patriarchy, but I don't think it's just women or girls who are affected by patriarchal structures.
So do you have any suggestions on how to carve out the space within the home and how to maintain good mental health and focus for studying?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, just drawing on my own experience, I can speak to that question. But just following on some of the things that Maddie and Cassie have already said, you know, I think you got to look after yourself, right? Like, pandemic or not, it's a difficult time to be a young person in coming into this workforce. You need to start to learn to ask for what you need. You know, it's something that will see you well in study, in work, in your personal and professional relationships. And I will note, you know, some things never change. If you are a woman having your period, you know, take note of your cycle and be especially kind to yourself in the week before it's meant to start. I think speak with a doctor if you have any concerns about the pain that you're experiencing, because I know a lot of women my age have been dealing with pain for 10 odd years and haven't actually taken the steps to go and deal with it because it's considered as something that we just have to deal with, or people are rather shy to talk about these issues. But again, you know, COVID is a major public health concern, but there are other aspects to our health that still need looking after.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks, Anna. So, Cassie, can we talk a bit about social connection now? So how important is it to stay socially connected during times of stress and anxiety?
Yeah, so, I mean, we know that being social and socially belonging to a community or to anything full stop is recognized now as a basic human need. So quite as a, I guess, blanket term, as humans, it is something that is deemed to be a necessity for thriving within any community or any society. So in particular, when we start to analyze our friendships, we can see that our friendship groups and the people that we choose to surround ourselves with, either family or friends, does actually play quite a critical role on our happiness. Friendship provides people with companionship, it provides people with affection, and virtual affection is still a very real thing. And it also creates a space where we can feel valued and cared for, especially in this time when those two aspects of feeling valued, recognized, acknowledged, and cared for become so incredibly important to stay mentally well during these times.
For sure. So do you have any suggestions for how we can maintain our social and mental fitness?
Yeah, definitely. So I do one-on-one counseling with clients on the side because I like to do it sometimes. And one of my most favorite things to recommend to clients is to keep stability rocks. So it's not like a literal rock. I promise you, I'm not going to get any students to go run outside and find actual rocks to name and make friends with. If you want to, that's okay. But a stability rock is what we call in the motivational interviewing world, which is just a counseling technique. It's something that you keep as a constant throughout every single day of the week. So for example, my stability rock is that 5 p.m. every single day I go for a 40-minute walk. It's the same time every single day, no matter if it's weekday, weekend, no matter how busy I am. That is my stability rock, because that one thing helps bring a lot of structure and stability to my day, and that really helps create that structure that a lot of us need to ensure that we're keeping, so that we can differentiate between when it's okay to switch off from your day-to-day duties and enjoy you time and engage in that good self-care that we know is so good to foster good mental health.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. So, Maddie, can you tell us how important it is to stay physically active during times of stress and anxiety?
Yeah, absolutely. So our mind is more evolved than our bodies are. So we have the ability to process information much quicker than our body is able to respond to it. And in times of stress, whether it's COVID, whether it's your exams, whether it's major change within your life, that's considered stress as well. You might be moving house or moving from school to university, school to TAFE, school to work. This is all stressful. It all impacts our body. And with that in mind, if we understand that we process information much faster than what we can process it within our body, things get stuck inside us. We feel tension. We all feel tight in our shoulders when we've been studying for long periods of time. We know that our bodies can tend to feel more sore when we are going through periods of stress. Our back hurts. We feel the weight of the world on our shoulders. And it's at that point that you need to acknowledge that you really do need to move your body, because moving your body helps release tension. Now, somatic practice is any practice that involves both the mind and the body together. So these can range from yoga, which is my go-to, there's Tai Chi, you've got things like Qigong, there's plenty of different varieties of exercises that engage both the body and the mind. So even if you did some simple stretches at your desk, all you need to do is just really notice where it is that you're feeling it. So if you just simply move from side to side, instead of noticing what's happening in the room around you, maybe closing your eyes and just going, okay, I can feel it in my back. Can I take it a little bit deeper? And just utilizing that breath. And again, that just helps bring us all back cohesively together, mind, body.
Yeah, cool. Do you have any advice for the teenagers out there? Anna, let's start with you.
Yeah, I will again just reiterate that you're all going through something that no one in your age in Australia has ever been through before. So there's no right or wrong way to be responding to all of this. It is a time, it's so uncertain and already has gone on for far longer than many of us were prepared to accept. So I think be kind to yourselves, do your best to be there for yourselves, for your family and your friends, be patient with one another, and above all, do your best to be safe.
Yeah, great. Cassie, any advice for the teenagers out there?
Yeah, so I'll keep it short and sweet. My advice is take time for you. Don't let anyone or anything make you feel guilty about acknowledging and honoring your own emotions and your own feelings, and acknowledging when you just need to take a minute or an hour or 2 hours or a day. Like, just don't let anything make you feel guilty about that. Make sure that you're honoring the way that you feel.
Yeah, lovely. Maddie, any advice for the teenagers out there?
Yeah, so going on what Cass said, just treat yourself how you would treat one of your friends. That is really important. Show yourself that same loving kindness that you would show to all of the people that you love so dearly. It's so important to be able to extend that onto yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So another question to put to the panel is, what about for yourselves? If you could travel back in time, what advice would you have for your teenage self? Anna?
Yeah, look, I would have figured out my confidence way earlier on if only I knew how much time is wasted by seeking validation from other people. Your path is yours to pave. You have choices, even if it feels like you don't. You just have to believe in yourself and you will reach where you want to be, even if it takes a while to get there. And the other piece of advice is get organized, because no matter the kind of learner you are or where your career path takes you, you'll go further if you learn how to be organized in your own style.
Great. Cassie, advice for yourself?
My honest word of advice to myself would be, do whatever your heart is telling you to do. No, I really wish someone just said to me and kind of shook me a bit and went, listen to your heart and do that, because great things are going to happen and you're going to love the life you live. You're going to love the job that you have.
Great, great. Maddie, advice for your teenage self?
Yeah, believe in yourself. Like, there is just so much within ourselves that we haven't tapped into. We have so many gifts and so many talents to share with the world.
Yeah. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for your time today and sharing those experiences and words of wisdom, and all with the magic of hindsight. So thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you on campus in the future.